Hi, welcome to the Unpacking SLOs for Intentional Formative Assessment as part of the Faculty Development course on Formative Assessment. My name is Julia Kiter. I'm one of the Instructional Effectiveness Specialists here at Baker College Online in the Center for Graduate Studies. So today's module, this week's seminar, will actually focus on Student Learning Objectives or SLOs. So let's take a look at what Student Learning Objectives really are. Student learning objectives are the overarching goals for students to be able to meet over the course of the semester. So you may find your SLOs or student learning objectives throughout your course, but they aren't necessarily a one-shot deal that you're looking to help students achieve once. It's overarching over the course of the semester. And these are built upon skills that students need to be skills that students need to be successful in the course. And they are predetermined by the curriculum designers here at Baker College. So what is the importance of SLOs to our instruction? Well, based on the formative assessment aspects that we've been talking about, really the SLOs help determine where am I going. And in doing so, we break those down into smaller chunks over the course of the semester. The SLOs help us with our instruction by being intentional in our formative assessment and helpful in the design of that intentional formative assessment. So I'm going to break down for you 4 simple steps as far as how to unpack the student learning objectives for formative assessment. And this should all impact your lesson planning. So the first step is to consider the assessments for the course. In most of the courses, the assessments are already pre-designed along with the student learning objectives. So taking a look at the overarching pieces of the course and determining what are my students going to be able to do as a summative assessment for the course. Sometimes that's for the week, but most of the time it's actually for the entire course, whether it's a project or a research paper or some sort of inquiry-based approach. Then we're going to break down the SLOs that are outlined in your course into what's called enabling objectives. And those are smaller chunks that really help you design more intentionally the formative assessments and the discussion board prompts and the content that actually helps your students be successful. So we're going to break those down. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then as we're moving forward in the lesson planning, really determining the scaffolding needed for students to meet both the enabling objectives, and then that leads into the student learning objectives. And if they can do that, they will be successful in meeting the assessment criteria. So to do that, we're going to have to construct formative assessment checks for understanding along the way for students to be successful. So you can see the backwards design and you can see the frontwards design. So let me show you how to do that. All right, so you've taken some time to look over the course assessments and the student learning objectives. And so I've attached in this module a document called Baker College Student Learning Outcomes. And what this document does is it provides us with an empty template, for the most part, of student learning objectives and those enabling objectives. So there will be no objectives in there. You will have to fill them out for yourself with your course's student learning objectives. And then, based on the steps that we had talked about earlier, really looking at how you can craft enabling objectives to help your students be successful. So look at the example that I've had here. So I've taken a student learning objective from an American literature course, and it says apply historical, social, cultural aspects of American society to literary works written by authors representing a full range of American ethnicities. So I broke that down into understanding the importance of historical aspects of American society, explore a full range of American ethnicities through history, and analyze the author's perspectives and purposes. So I made those up myself because as the instructor, I have the flexibility to really make the determination how to scaffold the learning for my students to be successful in making sure that they are able to apply historical, social, cultural aspects of American society to literary works written by authors. Okay, so the student learning objectives will already be created for you, but as the instructor for the course, we have the flexibility to be able to determine what are some of the enabling objectives to help our students be successful. And it is not limited to 3, and it's not bound by 3. So you can maybe have 1 or 2, or you can have as many as 5 or 6, just knowing that this is what it takes for your students to be successful for those student learning objectives. So I want to share with you another document from the Baker site, and that is these teaching strategies and learning activities developmental tool. So this tool actually helps us be intentional in terms of the language that we use to craft our enabling objectives. So we can see here explain, begin discussion. So we have some samples here to really guide us in determining how we're going to construct those enabling objectives. The document does include some information on how to be able to scaffold some learning activities, also known as formative assessment. So I want to share those two documents with you and just give you some time to explore those, because as part of the summative assessment for this module, we will be taking a look at student learning objectives from a case study and then crafting formative assessments accordingly. So I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you've learned a lot. Share some of your questions on the discussion board, and I'll get back to you and we can have a conversation about them. Okay.